I want to talk to you real quick about some comments filmmaker Michael Moore made over the weekend pertaining to the Second Amendment. He said, for instance, that those who wrote the Second Amendment could not foresee 100-round quote-unquote magazine clips. Quick note to Michael Moore, they're not called magazine clips, they're just magazines, all right? He also said those who wrote the Second Amendment could not foresee semi-automatic firearms. He said the bullet hadn't even been invented yet. The bullet didn't even exist when the Second Amendment was ratified. That's what Moore's saying. No joke, all right? Moore said all they had were muskets with a little ball in them and some gunpowder, and it took 1.5 minutes to reload those, all right? Now, there are a lot of people who think the way Michael Moore thinks. They're on the left, and they constantly push their views on us. So let me push back a little bit and tell you something. For those of you who aren't students of history, let me give you a quick lesson. Those muskets that the colonists possessed were the same muskets that were used by the military during that era, all right? When the Redcoats invaded the South during the American Revolution and they were repelled, when they invaded the South and they were repelled, it is because they were met with colonists who were using muskets like they were using. In other words, they were using the firearms that they were using. Okay? And I think it's important to understand this was predominant in our founders' minds at the time that the Second Amendment was written and ratified. There wasn't a specificity about the very type of gun you had to have, but there was this idea predominant that the colonists, or Americans now we should say, would have a gun sufficient to defend their lives and defend their liberty. And that would include a gun sufficient to repel a tyranny. So, with that understood, what I'd like to just say to Michael Moore this morning is, here's my musket. I'm proud of it, I love it, and I'm not giving it up.